It's coffee time, it's coffee time, it's the One Pot Chef drinking coffee in time. And that's still crap. Welcome to Coffee Time, the monthly chat show here on the One Pot Chef blog where I answer questions sent in by you. Now, if you've got a question for the next edition of Coffee Time, just leave it in the comment section underneath this video on YouTube. Well, without further ado, let's get into this month's questions. First question comes from Joe W, and his question is, what sort of computer do you use? I don't know. I got a new computer recently, and I can never remember what it is, so I'll look it up. Hang on a second. I use a Mac, and it's a 3.2 gigahertz Intel Core i5 with 32 gig of DDR3 RAM. Yeah, so I use that. It's a desktop version, obviously, and I use that for editing all my videos. I also use it, obviously, I'm using the internal webcam to record this video. Yeah, I've been using Mac for quite some time, and I find for video editing there's really no substitute. It's really just the best kind of system to use, and I find it works perfect for me. I know there's a lot of people out there who've got sort of anti-Mac attitudes, and they're entitled to their opinion, but for me, it works for me, so that works. Next question, ASMR Badger. My question is, if YouTube didn't exist, what would your current occupation be, do you think, and why? Well, before I started making YouTube videos, I was working in retail. I was working mostly in the food industry, so I'd probably be on the management path in some retail store at some point, I don't know. But that being said, the reason I stopped working in retail was because I injured my back and I was having trouble finding work. So chances are I have absolutely no idea what the hell I'd be doing in that case. So I don't know. YouTube really did sort of put my life on an entirely different path, and I'm quite happy with that because it sort of brought me to a much more positive place than I was before I started doing YouTube. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what I'd be doing. Maybe, I don't know, a cowboy or an astronaut. I don't know. Ninja Dude 1021. If you were to have a party, what would you prefer to just magically never run out of? Alcohol or food? And also, how have you written this? Would love to know how to make a Long Island iced tea. The real way, not the way places off the island attempt to make. But once I tell you, you'll be the only person off the island who can make it properly. Okay. Okay, first question, it was like, would I rather have ultimate or never-ending alcohol or never-ending food for a party? Probably food, simply because whenever I go to parties or whenever I throw parties, there never seems to be enough food. We always run out. And as for alcohol, I mean, personally, like, if people want to have alcohol and that's all fine and good, but personally, I don't think it's necessary to have a good time, and I tend not to sort of get sloshed anywhere near as much as I did when I was younger, but I think that's just the old man in me coming out. As for Long Island iced tea, I've only had a Long Island iced tea maybe once or twice in my whole life, and they were totally different drinks, so it'd be interesting to see what the original one actually is, because each time I've had it, it's always been totally different, so yeah, if you've got a real recipe for it, please feel free to send it through to me. I'd love to see it. Blably2, I love that username. Did you meet Ellen DeGeneres when she was in Australia? Do you watch her show, or do you even know who she is? No, I didn't go to see Ellen when she was here, although, that being said, it was pretty hard to avoid her. I don't watch her show. I used to watch her sitcom years ago, but I've never really got into her chat show. So obviously I do know who she is. But yeah, when she was in Australia, it was like when Oprah visited about a year or so ago. It was on every channel. It was every news program was literally 99%. Ellen went to the shops today. Ellen picked a flower. Ellen cuddled a koala. Ellen picked her nose. Like, no one gave a shit. Like, it was just so stupid to be having like 22 minutes of stuff about Ellen DeGeneres and then 3 minutes of, oh, by the way, the entire economy collapsed today, but we'll have more on that in Lateline. Like, what? So, yeah, I wasn't that worried about seeing her. Laszlo Kavivi. Let's see. Question. Okay. I have a comment and a question. I like the change you have made to the way that you end your videos. Previously, the camera would remain trained on the food as you dig in for a taste. Now we see your face on screen while you taste the food, and I think that's a good way to do it. Did you make this change in response to your recent visit to LA? I noticed that you changed this upon your return to Australia, or am I imagining things? No, you're not imagining things, actually. It wasn't directly because of what I was doing in LA, but it probably was pushed along the way with it, because when I made my videos in Los Angeles for Tastemade, I had to do on-screen tasting, and I've always tried to avoid doing that in my videos simply because I want to make the food the star of the show, not me. And I figured that, like, in the end, who wants to see a big fat guy eating food on screen anyway? Apparently everyone, because I kept getting bombarded by people going, why don't you show us eating it? Well, you're not really eating it, it's fake, sort of thing. And I was like, oh, all right, fine, I'll do it. And so when I came back from LA, I figured, all right, I've done it in these videos, I may as well try and be a bit consistent and start doing it in the new videos. So that's what I did it. But I don't think it was directly because of the trip to LA. I think it was just I was getting tired of being nagged by people to do it, so that would be why. Okay. Tanya C.A. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm allergic to chocolate, or rather the cocoa solids in it. And while I eat white chocolate, but I wonder if there was a way to replace cocoa powder in recipes that wouldn't ruin the texture of the recipe. Good question. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that or not. That's a train in the distance hitting the brakes really loudly. Yeah, I'm not sure about the cocoa as such, but have you tried carob? Because it's the closest to chocolate you'll get without actually having chocolate. It's not exactly the same, but there are a lot of cocoa substitutes which are usually carob-based, which you can usually get them from health food stores and from the health food section of the supermarket. You just have to do a bit of sort of digging around. I must admit I don't have a lot of experience with chocolate substitutes, and I feel so horrible for you that you're allergic to chocolate. That's terrible. So I couldn't think of anything worse. Well, I probably could, but like in my position, so like I love chocolate, so hopefully that helps. Light Lunch Boy, I could have sworn I asked a question last time, never mind, maybe not. Have you ever watched the channel Cooking with Dog? It's not like it sounds, but it's bonkers. I have seen a couple of the videos from Cooking with Dog. I can't say I'm subscribed to them. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Yeah, it's a very odd concept, actually. But, yeah, I'm not sure how I'd be able to adapt that for my show and have like I don't know, maybe Cooking with Topaz or something. I don't know if that would work. Makeup Lover 586. What is your favourite holiday? Christmas, Easter, or summer? If I'm totally honest, all three, like, I don't know if summer qualifies as a holiday, maybe in America, but not necessarily here, but they're all kind of blah to me. Like Christmas and Easter, I mean, I'll probably offend people by what I'm about to say, but I see them as children's holidays. They're not really the kind of thing for adults. Like sort of, like Easter, like you're giving Easter eggs and all that sort of stuff to kids. Same with Christmas, you're giving presents to kids. But in my sort of worldview, that's more of a children's holiday than anything else. As for summer, I mean, summer means excruciatingly hot and humid days here in Australia, so I can't say I'm a total fan. It's coming into winter in Australia at the moment. I'm loving it because it's like, it's cold and I can wrap up in blankets and get warm. I love that. Yeah, so I don't know if I could pick one of those as any of those as a favourite. Bayonet. Would like to know if it's worth buying expensive knives to help me in the kitchen, and what is the most important and useful tool in your kitchen? Okay, I guess it depends on what you're planning on doing. I mean, like, if you're just doing basic everyday cooking, a standard set of knives will be fine. If, however, you're looking to do speciality stuff, like if you're looking to do sort of hand-cut sashimi and sushi and all that sort of stuff, then you kind of do need to invest in some really good quality knives. But just for everyday use, I don't think it's necessary to go out and spend like $1,000 on some massively expensive knives. I don't tend to use the overly expensive knives. In fact, I went and bought a new set of knives recently. It cost $50 and works for me. And as long as you keep them in a good condition and you don't abuse the crap out of them and you just look after them, they should give you many years of useful life. So as for the most important and useful tool in the kitchen, good question actually. I suppose, I guess it depends on what you define as a tool, really. I mean, I think as kitchen equipment goes, the two things that I probably get the most use out of these days, and they're not like tools, they're more like sort of kitchen appliances, would be the slow cooker. It cost me $30 and I use it year round for doing roasts. I use it for making soup. I use it for making stews and casseroles. It's absolutely the most amazing multifunctional device, and what's best about it is you can chuck everything in the pot, switch it on, walk away for 8 hours and come back and you have an amazing dinner ready to go. I also bought myself an electric steamer for about the same price, and I use it virtually every day. I just chuck vegetables in it, put a bit of water in, switch it on, 20 minutes later I've got beautiful steamed vegetables. You can do all sorts of different things in it. It's basically those are the two go-to items in my kitchen at the moment. I use them every day, or not every day, I suppose I don't use the slow cooker every day, but they get used quite regularly and it's good. So as for just like little sort of kitchen items, I suppose measuring cups. I can never have enough measuring cups. They're also very useful for, especially if you do a lot of baking. Same thing with measuring spoons and all that sort of stuff. They're very good for getting precise measurements, which is very important when it comes to cooking. Other than that, yeah, I guess that's my top picks. Wayne Hodge, if you don't believe anything happens after you die, what is your take on ghosts, and have you ever had a supernatural experience? I don't think they exist. It's as simple as that. I think when it comes to most things about ghosts and stuff, I think if you go purposely looking for a ghost, you'll probably find one, because you're in that mindset to sort of every creak you hear will be a ghost. Every sort of slight noise or rapid movement of air of the wind will make a noise and you go, oh, it's a ghost. If, however, you're not looking for a ghost, you're not going to necessarily think it's a ghost. So, as for supernatural experiences, I don't think I've had any. Yeah, I don't think so, no. So, like, sorry, I'm a bit of a skeptic with this sort of stuff. Lavender Child was wondering if you ever thought of making sweets such as cakes and slices that have low carbs for diabetics. Love Coffee Time and your cooking channel. Basically, I don't do a lot of diabetic stuff or that sort of specific sort of medical need cooking, simply because A, I don't have a lot of experience with it, and B, I don't like the idea of doing those kind of recipes without having the proper knowledge to definitely say, yes, this is safe for diabetics to eat or whatever, because it puts it on me if somebody eats this or makes this and eats it and I'm wrong. And I could endanger someone's health by doing that. And I don't like the idea of doing that. The reality is there's heaps of websites out there with diabetic cuisine and recipes and stuff like that. And so I leave it to the experts. I just tend to do the sort of the stuff that I'm good at, and I leave that to the experts. If I had the knowledge, I probably would do it. But the reality is I don't know if there's enough demand for it for me to start doing it on a regular basis on my channel, and for me to actually invest in learning all I can learn about diabetic cuisine and cooking. So yeah, that's basically the long and short answer of it. Azza Productions, what is your favourite pizza toppings? And you have an old daily vlog of pizza night from 2010. In the video, your flatmate is making pizzas. Was that really your flatmate or your camera shy partner? Okay, yes, that's my partner. Back in the time when I made that video, I would refer to him as my flatmate on videos, simply because I was copping a lot of crap from people because I was gay. And so I was just sort of avoiding that at the time by sort of saying like flatmate rather than saying partner or boyfriend or husband or whatever. And so, yeah, that's what that was. But these days, I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, the fact is there isn't that many people sort of making a big stink about it these days, so I don't really feel the overwhelming need to hide anything about myself anymore. Well, not that much about me, so yeah. As for favourite pizza toppings, I don't know. I try different things. Like, I'm kind of odd these days because, like, I go through phases where I love a certain type of pizza and then suddenly I just can't stand it and want something totally different. And at the moment, it's bacon and egg pizza, Aussie style bacon and egg pizza. Basically, it's like scrambled eggs and bacon with cheese on top. It's absolutely amazing. Most people think it's gross. I think it's fantastic. But probably 3 months from now, I'll be thinking, ugh, yuck, can't stand it. But I'm weird like that, so that would be my favourite at the moment. Let's see, what's the next one? Not famous kid. Can you wish my girlfriend Kimberly a late happy birthday? She turned 21. Absolutely. Happy birthday, Kimberly. 21 today, 21 today. Well, 21 ages ago, probably. Yeah, have you had a fantastic birthday, or will have a fantastic birthday? I'm not sure when it is. Late happy birthday, it must have already happened. So, yeah, happy birthday, and give your boyfriend a big cuddle for me. Let's see. Not famous kid. Do you know whereabouts in Scotland your family are from? I also, have you tried haggis or haggis spring rolls? They're yum. Okay, I've never heard of haggis spring rolls. That's interesting. I have tried haggis on several occasions, and it's okay. It depends on who's made it, I think, because my mum made it ages ago, and it was okay. It's not my favourite. Like, if you put enough gravy on it, anything's good. But as for whereabouts in Scotland they're from, mostly from around Glasgow. That's where most of my family is from. So yeah, or from my mother's side at least. Do you like Kenco Red Smooth Coffee? I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. It must be a brand we don't get here, sorry. Charlotte Brooks. I've not watched A Coffee Time before, but found myself watching on the iPad whilst cooking tea and loving it. My question is, apart from the obvious, what is your favourite food on a barbecue? It sounds odd, but I love barbecue wrapped in bacon cooked on the barbecue. Try it, it's incredible. I have never heard of that. That's interesting. Banana wrapped with bacon. I can't say I'm terribly exotic when it comes to barbecue. In fact, in all honesty, I don't actually have a barbecue anymore. We did have one at the old house, but it sort of got into disrepair and ended up being thrown out. I can't say I'm a big fan of doing actual barbecuing. My personal opinion is I'd rather just do it in the kitchen than go outside and with flies and mosquitoes and crap everywhere. But again, I'm just a whiner, so... But I love having sort of freshly grilled burgers, love sort of kebabs and marinated meat and things like that. All that sort of stuff is really great. And of course, you can't go past the snag, sausages, yum. Naruto Uzumaki, where do babies come from? No idea, not my department. Next, Leo Lee. Hi, One Pot Chef, love your videos. What is your favourite place to dine at? At the moment, there is this amazing new Austrian restaurant nearby that I've been going to a bit. They do all sorts of different kinds of schnitzels and bratwurst and all that sort of stuff, and they've got this amazing stuff called Spatzel. I think it's pronounced Spatzel. And it's like an Austrian-German sort of noodle type thing, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and they fry them in butter with onions and all sorts of stuff. Oh, gorgeous. Yeah, that's definitely my favourite place to eat. It's definitely not sort of light food. It is very heavy sort of food, but oh my god, is it good. Rosie Freckle. Have you ever had a cream egg McFlurry, and have you ever watched Tangled, the Disney film based on Rapunzel? I've never even heard of Tangled, the Disney film based on Rapunzel. Can't say I watch a lot of sort of Disney type movies, but if it's good, maybe I'll check it out. As for a cream egg McFlurry, I have never even seen that at McDonald's. That must be a new one, so never had that. Sounds awesome. I like to have a McFlurry. I normally get the the caramel cookie one, but a cream egg McFlurry, that just sounds deadly. I like the idea of it. Licho3440. Hi David, is there any kangaroos hopping around in your yard right now? No. I had to look out the window. No, don't get many kangaroos where I live. If we do, it's usually sliced up and ready to eat. S. Johnson channel, 2 questions. What's your favourite music genre, and what do you think of today's music? Is it boring? I think today's music is recycled crap. It is just old songs being sort of twisted around and made to sound like their original tracks, and I hate that. I'd rather listen to the original ones than some doof version. As for favourite music genre, I'm a big disco queen. I love my music from the 70s and 80s. I mean, I was driving along the other day listening to Ring My Bell. You can ring my bell, ding dong. Oh dear God, that just gave away way too much information about me. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, if you ever see someone doing that in the street, you know who it is. Yeah, so that would definitely be my favourite sort of choice of music. I like Cooking 88. Let's see. Do you ever use artificial sweeteners like Splenda? I do not use artificial sweeteners. I did years ago, back in my diet days when these sort of things were very trendy, like Splenda and Equal and all that sort of stuff. And personally, they're awful for cooking. I mean, I know a lot of them are out there sort of saying perfect for baking and stuff like that. They're not. They're rubbish and they never work as well as sugar. That being said, these days, I think there's way too much focus on people sort of going, oh, you shouldn't eat sugar, you shouldn't do this. I think it's more basically people should be using better judgment in balancing their diets. Like, if you're going to eat chocolate cake 4 times a day, every day, don't whinge about the sugar making you fat. It's because you have eaten chocolate cake every day or wherever. That's just idiotic behaviour. I don't think there's a problem having sugar in your diet. I think it's just a matter of having balance. Obviously, you've got to get some exercise, you've got to have a proper balanced diet. That's the whole point. And I know a fat guy preaching that sort of stuff, it sounds a bit ridiculous, but that's democracy. Yeah, so yeah, and personally, Splenda, I think it's disgusting. I think it's got a horrible chemical aftertaste that's just gross. But that's my opinion. Oh, Licho3440 again. Is there a big difference between using real garlic and garlic from a jar? I hate chopping garlic. Oh, I'm going to start a controversy with this. If you've watched any of my cooking videos, you'll probably notice that whenever I add garlic to things, I usually use the stuff out of the jar, and I often cop a lot of abuse from sort of foodies everywhere about that. In my personal opinion, like, it depends on what you're using the garlic for. Like, if you're needing to actually use whole cloves of garlic in stuff, then you probably should use fresh. But I find if you're putting it as part of a sauce with a half a dozen different bloody ingredients, why spend 10 minutes chopping it up really finely into little, till it's practically dust, when you can just take a spoonful of the stuff out of the jar? It tastes just as good, at least in my opinion it is, and it's that much more convenient. Plus you get a jar that big for like $2. Rather than having to bugger eyes around chopping up tons and tons of garlic. And it's such a fluctuating price, garlic. Like, the other day I went in to go and get some fruit and veg from the supermarket, and the garlic bulbs were just this ludicrous price. They were like $14 a kilo, and I'm there going, it's garlic, for God's sake. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, if you feel any guilt about using garlic from a jar, don't. I think it's perfectly acceptable, and that's democracy. So, yeah, I personally hate chopping garlic as well. I think it's an absolute nightmare. Fred's the dog. Are there Aldi stores in Australia, and do you buy store brand groceries? Yes, there are Aldi stores in Australia. They came to Australia probably about 7 or 8 years ago, roughly, and they really shook up the local supermarket sort of industry because they started coming in with very cheap groceries, using mostly their all own brands. And yeah, they really sort of created a bit of a price war when they started. And they've really helped to sort of bring prices down in groceries, because in Australia, groceries are ludicrously overpriced. Store brand groceries or generic brands, I do not have an issue buying them. In fact, I often get a lot of people saying, oh, I don't want to buy generic stuff because people will think I'm poor or they'll think I'm cheap. And it's like, who cares? Like, really? Like, who's going to judge you to begin with? What, the people at the checkout? I worked as a checkout operator for years. Trust me, I don't care what you buy. I barely notice what you buy. I'm just scanning things and moving on. So, like, I don't even recognise your face half the time, let alone what you're buying. But, I think it's insane to spend more money on something for a different coloured packet that it comes in than to just buy the generic brand. I mean, I challenge anyone to tell me that they can taste the difference between a cake baked with a brand name flour and a generic flour. They are exactly the same product, except one is a lot cheaper. So if you want to waste money on that, go for your life. But that's basically what the difference is. Most of the generic brands are actually made by the whole big brand people, and especially for those supermarkets, and they're just branded differently. So yeah, so I quite proudly buy store brand ones, but then again, you've just got to shop around and decide which ones you like. What kind? Oh, this is from Jake Barbosa. What kind of car do you drive? I drive a bitch of a car. I have a Mitsubishi Magna, and it's I think it's 2001 model. It's not a new car by any measure, but it's a stubborn and difficult bloody thing, much like its owner, but always gets me where I need to go. So, yeah, I've recently considered possibly changing cars, maybe getting an upgrade or getting something different, and I don't know, I kind of like my Maggie, so... Maggie. Major Marksman 27. Love watching your videos. Just wondering what you thought of the Equality House they built across the road from the Westboro Baptist Church. I know nothing about it. I know who the Westboro Baptist Church people are, and I just think it'll be funny what God thinks of them when they all get there. He presses the down button. But, yeah, I don't know what the Equality House is. I'm assuming it's something to do with the gay community, but I've never heard anything about it. Personally, I think the Westboro Baptist Church people need to find a new angle, because seriously, if all they do all day, every day is whinge about gay people, like, for God's sake, there are other things in the world. Get over yourself. Like, find something more entertaining to do. Let's see. Guitar Keys 4. What is your favourite seafood dish? I can't say I'm a huge fan of seafood. I've mentioned in the past that I have a sort of mild intolerance to certain seafood, and I try to avoid eating it now and again. But it's pretty hard to resist getting the old fish and chips. I love getting that beautiful battered white fish, and it's just gorgeous. I just love it. I don't have it very often these days, but it's definitely something that I enjoy. I also like a tuna mornay or a tuna casserole. Yummy. Muriel de Chabert, or Chaber, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, sorry. You are such an angel to watch, listen, and learn from. What is your favourite segment to do? The cooking videos, coffee time, or taste tests? I love and am addicted to all three. Just wish you lived in Florida. Keep them coming, and I hope that all you know, you personally, you should feel blessed. Okay, thank you very much. So which do I prefer more, the cooking videos, the coffee time, or the taste testing? My nose is itchy. I've got a bit of a low-level flu, and I took some cold and flu tablets, and it's making the end of my nose really itchy. I'm not picking my nose, I swear. Well, when it comes to the coffee time videos and the taste test videos, I do them fairly irregularly, like recording-wise. Like, you guys probably think I record them week after week. In actuality, I tend to do, like, the taste test videos. I'll just spend a day recording, like, a month's worth of videos. And coffee time, I only do them once a month or so. So, yeah. The cooking videos, are probably the most fun to do, like physically actually doing them, and then I've got to actually do all the editing afterwards, which is a little less fun. But yeah, I don't know if I have a specific favourite, but I do love the taste test videos because I get to try all these amazing things from all over the world, things that I've never even heard of. I recently recorded a whole bunch of new ones, including some videos from Greece, Denmark, Austria, all these sort of very weird and wonderful things that were being sent from all over the world, and a lot of stuff I'd never even heard of, and it was just so much fun exploring those things. So I guess if I have to make a favourite, it will probably be that. Emmy Gallen. If you were in a bar fight, which 5 movie badasses would you want on your side? What kind of a nitwit, what kind of a weirdo question is that? Like, I wouldn't need 5 movie badasses on my side in a bar fight because no one ain't more badass than me. Last mosquito bit me, got checked into the Betty Ford clinic, yo. I can't believe I just said that. What am I doing? Yeah, I have no idea. I guess it depends what you consider to be a movie badass. Well, badass. I don't know how to answer that question. I am a movie badass, so there you go. So like just 5 of me will work, I suppose. That should scare the hell out of anyone. Let's 68. I know there are a lot of Greeks in Australia. Do you have any Greek friends? I can't say I have. I've got a friend who is, I think her father was Greek, but yeah, I don't think I've got a lot of Greek friends. There aren't a lot of Greek people where I live. It's mostly Melbourne and Sydney, and I live outside of those areas, so there's big Greek communities in Melbourne and Sydney, though, so yeah, but I can't say I have a lot of Greek friends. Not for any particular reason. I think it's just that there aren't many Greek people around. But yeah, yeah. I suppose that answers the question. SN91. Does your partner ever cook you dinner, or is it your area of expertise? If he does, what's your favourite thing he cooks? My partner doesn't cook very often. He tries to claim that he doesn't know how to cook, or that because I'm the chef, I should be the one who does it. There are times, though, when I'm like, if I'm sick or just too tired and don't want to cook, that he will sort of go, I'll sort dinner out. And it usually involves him going to McDonald's or the pizza shop. Although he does make a mean omelette. I'll give him that. He does know how to make a very good omelette. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, he's not much for the cooking. Oh, and then another good question. What's one food you absolutely hate? Oh, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. There's not a lot that I actually hate as such. Like, I've got food that I would prefer to have, and like if I'm sort of presented like with something that I'm not particularly fussed on, I'll probably eat it anyway because it's polite. Like if I'm somebody's house or something, but I think as you grow up, sort of like you know what you like and what you don't like, and you sort of just avoid the things you don't like. But I suppose if there was one thing that I absolutely can't stand was this fruit that I tried years ago from Southeast Asia, and it was the foulest, most revolting thing I've ever even smelled, let alone eaten. And it was called durian. Now, durian is a big, spiky looking melon thing that has this flesh on the inside that smells like the most rancid, filthy feet you have ever smelled. And it tastes even worse. It is gross. I don't know how anyone could actually eat it and say they like it. But yeah, that was probably I would absolutely never eat that again. It was foul. Yuck. It was like eating rotten garbage. It was just bleh. Reggae Rarify. I was wondering if you're a fan of Victorian literature, stuff like the Scarlet Pimpernel or the Metamorphosis. Also, have you ever wanted to go to space? Something about it enthralls me. I can't say I've ever wanted to go to space. I suppose because I'm claustrophobic, and I suppose being trapped in a little space shuttle type thing or something would probably be my idea of a nightmare. As for Victorian literature, I don't mind the Arthur Conan Doyle stories like sort of Sherlock Holmes and whatnot. I can't say I've read the Scarlet Pimpernel or the Metamorphosis. Maybe I should look them up on my ebook reader and give myself something to read if you're recommending. Armination. My question is, if it is possible that you start the video... is it possible for you to start the videos like you did in the old days where you walked into the camera coming off from the side? And I heard that other potters also miss this good old tradition. And I wanted to ask if you ever made an Austrian taste test, because I would like to send some real good Austrian stuff. Actually, I just recorded an Austrian video about 2 days ago. It'll be coming up in about a month's time on the channel. Yeah, I would love to try more Austrian things. Yeah, maybe hold off until you see the video so you know what it is I've already tried. Let's see. What was the other question? Oh, the walking in thing. I've had a lot of people ask me about this, and I've stopped doing it for 2 reasons. One is that it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why am I walking onto camera? Like, it seems strange to do it. But the other reason is I've got in the new kitchen, I haven't done the floor yet, and I can't really walk onto camera like that because the floor is really loud and squeaky and it sounds bizarre on camera. So that's the reason why I don't do it. A, I don't think it's really necessary, and B, it would look and sound really bizarre if I did it anyway, so that's why I don't do the walk onto camera anymore. Aaron K459. My question is about school. I'm still at school. I find it's really bad. What do you think? I think the best thing I can say is that school, I must admit, I didn't terribly enjoy school. I mean, I was never a scholarly type person. I never was the straight A student or anything like that. And I don't think it was because I was dumb or because I didn't want to pay attention. I think it was more to do with the fact that the curriculum that they taught when I went to high school particularly was just stupid. They were teaching people crap that no one will ever need unless you're going into some really sort of specialised trade. I also felt that a lot of the stuff they were teaching was just sort of really oddly chosen subjects. Like in history class, you would expect to get a bit of an overview of history from all over the place, but it was very narrow and it was only a certain part of Australian history that was ever taught. And I kind of found that a bit strange. I also didn't like the environment of school in general, but it's one of those things that you just kind of have to bite your lip and get through, because in the end, whatever you feel, even if you feel like school is really sort of crushing you down and the people there are doing the same thing to you, in the end, once you leave school, once you've finished and you've graduated and you've got that bit of paper that says, I did it, you never have to think about it again. You never have to worry about all of the crap that they've been trying to sort of throw at you and any kind of bullying or anything like that, because the real world is so much better. And it sounds like a cliche, but it does get better. And I made more friends after high school than I ever made in high school. And I'm quite happy with that. That works for me. And you get a much more even playing field when you leave school. So finish school, graduate, just deal with it. Like, it's one of those horrible experiences. Everyone hates high school most of the time. But yeah, stick with it and trust me, life gets a lot better. Mr. Ben Bratt. My question is, do you read many books, admire any TV presenter's voice, and also do you believe the Men in Black actually exist or a police-like alien figure such as Doctor Who? Because I do. Thank you very much for reading my question in episode 20 of Coffee Time. Blah, 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 blah. Love and kisses. Okay, yeah. You didn't say love and kisses, but okay. Okay, do I read many books? I can't say I read many books, but I do read on occasion, and it's good to sort of do that to keep your memory going and keep your mind active. Admire any TV presenters' voices? I suppose I love Seth MacFarlane's voice from Family Guy. Like, he's got that beautiful baritone voice, and a lot of people often say that I've got a fairly deep voice at times, but like his one is just natural. Like, sort of, I can put it on and sort of go, coming up next, a wonderful set of songs about clouds. Like, I can do that, but it doesn't sound right. But he's got that natural deep baritone voice, and I do like that. Very sexy. As for believing in the Men in Black or Doctor Who, I like Doctor Who, but I don't believe that there's anything quite like him in reality. And as for the Men in Black, there probably is some kind of an organisation like the Men in Black, but I don't think it's probably about aliens. It's probably more about sort of cleaning up sort of problems or whatever like that, where there is sort of secret issues, but not about aliens or anything like that. So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are hundreds of aliens all around there. Hell, I could be an alien. I don't know. It would certainly explain a lot. I don't know. Next question. Ghost Girl 1221. My question is, how do you feel when you were getting closer to your first day of high school? I have absolutely no idea. I can't really remember, to be honest. I think I was really nervous about it because I was going to an entirely different school and it was going to be full of people I didn't know, but I can't say I had any specific feelings that sort of stick in my memory. Then again, it was a very long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, so who knows. I just made a Star Wars reference. Oh, God, that's weird. Yeah, sort of, I think it's natural to feel that sort of nervousness before you start high school, but I think it's like most things like that, where you sort of worry about, oh, it's going to be so terrible, oh, everything's about that, and then you do it, and it's like, whatever, I don't know what I was worrying about. So, yeah. The Paul Morrison. You had the best laugh ever. Oh, thank you very much. That's not a question, though. Okay, let's see. Sandon Godwin Welch. What happened... Oh, what ended up happening about the melting trees you showed us in the front yard? Do you like twist endings, and can you sing as low and as high as you possibly can? I am not subjecting the world to any more of my horrible singing. I think the world has suffered enough over the last few years. As for the melting trees, apparently it's a natural thing that happens. I can't remember the exact scientific thing about it, but it was something about bacteria in the bark of the trees, and it reacts with the rainwater and creates that carbon dioxide, which creates the bubbles, and so you get the little sort of bubbles and foam coming off the trees. Apparently it's a perfectly natural phenomenon, so it was nothing to worry about, but I just thought it was really weird because I'd never seen that before. Do you like twist endings? I don't know, I suppose. It depends, because like, if you rely too much on twist endings, you can often ruin a perfectly good plot to a story. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, outside of Australia, how far do your subscribers and fans extend into other countries? I have subscribers and fans all over the world, in pretty much every country. I looked at the analytics on the cooking channel in particular, and I have people all over the world watching my videos, and it still blows my mind that there are people in Belarus watching my videos, there are people in Thailand watching my videos, there are people in the Arctic Circle watching my videos. I find that insane. Like, it's hard to conceive that your videos are actually being broadcast that far to all over the world, but like, that's what YouTube is. It truly is a global thing. So I just find that amazing, though. So, like, interesting to see how many people are out there and where they come from, and they all seem to like me and my videos, which is equally bizarre. So pardon me, I'm still got this cold and flu. My chest is killing me at the moment. Joe McCabe, sorry. What is your favourite chocolate or sweet? Oh, this changes on a regular basis. I don't know. At the moment, I've going for the old top deck at the moment. It's like a block of chocolate. It's milk chocolate with a white chocolate bit on top, and that's my sort of chocolate du jour at the moment. Yeah, but I must admit I'm trying to cut back on the sweet salt. It's not helping with the taste test videos, to be honest. But yeah, yeah, that's my go-to chocolate treat at the moment. And oh, we're up to our last one from Kelsey80. Hello. Have a go at a Northern Irish accent, not Irish. You're doing this on purpose. I have no idea what the difference between a Northern Irish accent and an Irish accent is. I imagine people from Northern Ireland and Ireland know the difference, but I don't because I don't come from there, because as far as I'm concerned, everyone from Ireland and Northern Ireland sounds like they have the same accent to me. Everything Irish sounds fiddle-dee-dee potatoes. That's what everyone sounds like from Ireland to me. I blame Chopper for that one. Fiddle-dee-dee potatoes. I'm gonna get killed! I'm gonna get killed! Well, now that my random racism is over, I think it's time to wrap this video up. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to put your questions in the comment section below this video on YouTube for the next edition of Coffee Time, which will be hopefully sometime next month. Okay, guys, lots of love. Thank you very much for watching, listening, and whatever. Keep out of trouble. See you later.